Jeff trying to get this thing down to 45 miles an hour. Has had top 5 finishes for the last 5 times he has been to this racetrack.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of guys come on pit road now. Mike?
And Jeff Burton's car has been going a swing of conditions. It starts off loose on a full fuel run and then gets tight toward the end when he burns off that fuel. Going for a 4-tire change. Here trying to stabilize that car a little bit this time, but Jeff having a real difficult time driving it with a full fuel load, Jamie.
And Martin Truex Jr. in, they said they want to put that air pressure back. That seems to be what everybody wants, is their air back in. Martin Truex Jr. 4 tires, he's down. And Greg Biffle, you guys said he's on a roll. The car is coming around to him. He's been complaining that he's extremely loose, though. So you're going to see him go around the left side. He wants 4 new tires. No adjustments at the moment for Greg Biffle, who worked his way up to second before coming into the pits, Dave.
Jimmy Johnson's car was getting tighter throughout that run, especially in turns 1 and 2. He believed he was getting beat. And so they're going to change 4 tires on that car and make an adjustment.
Tony Stewart, remember you see them with that little device there on the front, rubbing the front grille, trying to get anything off to get those temperatures down. He's going to take 4 tires. He was loose on entry. They're going to tighten him up just a little bit for that 20 car.
A tight race car for the 18 of Kyle Busch. They'll make an adjustment for him. He said it was about an 8 tight in the center, a 6 tight off the corner for a guy that loves a loose race car. That's one that's really, really hard to turn. He leads pit road. Here's Jeff Gordon on pit road. That last 2 tire stop really hurt these guys. The car very tight at the beginning of that run, and then Jeff said, this is just getting us into trouble.
And Jamie McMurray there, you see them. They thought they had some damage early on in the nose, but it seems to be okay as Jamie has been in the top about 17, 18 all night. 4 tires again. That seems to be the strategy right now, guys.
Brian Vickers, a strong leader of this race, comes down pit road. He said the car was free as they get Sunoco fuel in this race car, but that's the way that I like it. So they'll just make a slight air pressure adjustment for Brian right now. Drew going to work. Remember when the Red Bull teams won the Pit Crew Championship earlier this year, right here in the Charlotte area. They get him up pit road very sporty.
Vickers down and away. We saw that pit stop with Tony Stewart a moment ago, and they reached under the grill to try to pull some any debris out. Look like they pulled also a small sliver of tape off.
Well, if he was running hot and there wasn't any crash on the grill, that pulling that tape off will help cool the car down.
6 car, David Reagan, too fast entering pit road. And the 0-1 as well, Regan Smith.
That's too bad because David Reagan had driven way up into the field. This is going to hurt him a bunch to have to come down pit road at this speed. And that's actually going to get him a lap down here. Brian Vickers just going by him before he can get off of pit road. It's unfortunate. Jamie was mentioning everybody changing 4 tires. When I was watching these guys come on to pit road off the racetrack, they were having to get 4 the way they were sliding the tires, smoke boiling. Every time I looked up, I thought there was somebody crashing up there.
There's Regan Smith, who had that near miss. I mean, a great run. Can't take that away from him at Talladega, although he didn't get the victory and got penalized back to 18th. But he was there when the checker was waving just a few feet away. Brian Vickers, after the cycle of pit stops, back up front.
He's only got a 6-second lead now, though. Greg Biffle's team made it about 2 seconds of that lead in that round of pit stop. Yeah, and I was watching that too, that Brian Vickers that came in with some other cars and they kind of got slowed down and he really had to get woe down. So I think that's where he lost a lot of his lead. The way this car looks on the racetrack though, he might get back to the 8-second lead that he had before he came in. Right now, Greg Biffle's running just a tick faster lap times, but it is because of that traffic, I'm sure, that Brian Vickers is dealing with.
We ask you as part of our AT&T Crew Chief Challenge, which chaser involved in the big one at Talladega last week has the best chance to bounce back in tonight's race? Would it be Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, or Kevin Harvick? How'd you vote? Well, very smart race fans, Greg Biffle, because right now he has got the quickest car by lap times on the racetrack, even quicker than the leader. Good choice. He's been awful strong in the chase so far. Very impressive, and had another good run last week until he got involved in that late race incident. Very disappointing for a number of drivers with what happened in the final laps at Talladega last week. Greg Biffle got a 24th place finish after having a top 3 or 4 car all day. We asked him about moving on from Talladega to this weekend here at Charlotte.
You know, we can analyze what happened so that we don't do that again. But to be pissed off at Carl, you know, or, you know, throw stones at somebody isn't going to fix our 75-point deficit. It's not going to get our car back on the racetrack, and it's not going to help us at Charlotte.
What can help him is running like he is right now.
That's right.
Yeah, stay focused, and that's what he's doing. This team has really matured well. And Greg Irwin and Greg Biffle both have really got a great relationship. I think they're on the right track.
Yeah, I think that's what helps Greg Biffle, too, is to realize that. Now, I'm not sure a couple of years ago he would have looked at things that way, but he's really matured, too, as a race driver, and I think that's what's going to help him have a good shot at winning this championship.
All about relationships and chemistry, and they certainly got it going there, Greg Irwin and Greg Biffle. Jamie.
They certainly do, and Greg Irwin was telling me today, said after what happened at Talladega, he said you just hate it for these guys. He said the drivers take it more personal, but we as crew chiefs, we have to work together every single day. So we have to look at each other on Tuesday morning and know it was a mistake on somebody's part. We all have to move on or it'll kill you, and especially being in this position in the chase, it can ruin you for the rest of the year. So they had to deal with it on Tuesday, guys, and we have debris, turn 3, yellows out.
Yeah, Jamie, caution for the 6th time tonight up in turn 3. NASCAR's seen some debris on the racetrack. So here on lap 187, we'll wave it again.
It looks like that's going to get Casey Kane, who's just gone a lap down, going to get him the free pass here. It's going to take away all of that big lead that Brian Vickers had built up.
Also puts a couple of drivers sort of back in sync a little bit. Ryan Newman, some of these guys that had pitted out of sync with the leaders.
Yeah, he and his teammate Kurt Busch are running 9th and 10th right now, so all of that worked out for those guys. David Rudman's worked his way up to 8th, so a very impressive run that he's had right here.
Casey Kane will make it now 21 cars on the lead lap as he gets the free pass. Our in-race reporter.
It's only been 7 to 10 laps since they were on pit road under green. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys do.
What would you do?
Well, we've only run just 7 or 8 laps. I believe I'd just stay on the racetrack if I like my car. Brian Vickers is the one that's going to kind of key off of. A lot of guys will key off of.
Yeah, just stay out.
Yeah.
There's the 83 radio, so it looks like they're staying out.
Yeah, I'd have to say you'd have to be outside the top 10 before you'd even consider coming down pit road at this point in time, or either your car had to be really bad on that set of tires.
A couple of people faking to come down pit road. Mark Martin sort of to make that away, and they will stay on the racetrack, and some of the drivers toward the back of the pack will make a move. Under caution again. Back with more in just a moment.